Okay, for anybody who's decided to join, I just got done with my workout, and now I am food prepping. I keep telling myself, oh, I'm going to add value to people's lives by sharing my recipes and doing all these things while working a 40-hour-a-week job and trying to do all this, and this is the only way it's going to happen. So here I am, food prepping live for you. Anybody who wants to watch, you're more than welcome. Welcome you into my kitchen to show you how I have to do it. Like, I work in a bakery and I have to stay prepared, or it's very easy to fall back into old habits. So, first of the year, I have some definite body comp goals that I want to hit. So here I am. First thing I'm making is I call this an egg bake, but it's really just a sous vide dish. Like kind of like those little, I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. But it's the little things that you get at Starbucks that are egg, but they're really high carb at Starbucks. I work for Safeway and we have a Starbucks in our store. So I've decided to make this casserole style egg bake. It has 61 grams of protein per serving. So it's one of the reasons why I do this. I'm slowly cutting vegetables because last night I cut my thumb. Well, if any of you watch those Barbara O'Neill videos about how herbs can heal and stuff, what she says about cayenne pepper stopping the bleeding is true. My thumb was bloody last night. I slit right here on my thumb, trying to do too many things at once as usual, and it stopped the bleeding like right away. I took this really ugly picture of the cayenne pepper on my thumb and I was like, I gotta post this, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's just ugly. Nobody wants to see that. But it does work, just so y'all know. It's funny because I kept trying to apply pressure to get it to stop bleeding, still trying to chop one-handed. And it wasn't working. So finally I was like, I got to put something on this. And then I remembered, oh, Barbara O'Neill says cayenne pepper fixes your finger when it's bleeding. So I tried it and it worked. Pretty awesome. So I'm just cutting up peppers right now for this egg bake that I'm making. Personally, I would prefer bacon or ham, but I'm trying to eat less pork for, I don't want to freak anybody out, but for parasite reasons. So that's why I'm doing ground beef. I've got a pound of ground beef I'm cooking for the dish. Okay. My husband got this from Costco. It's cowboy butter. It's pretty good. I liked it. Hi, Ivy. Hi, Haley. Thanks for watching. Okay. This first. Cottage cheese. Yes, I'm using cottage cheese because A, it's high in protein. B, it's going to give this recipe the creaminess and not dry it out. Have you ever reheated like an omelet and been like, ugh, it's like rubber? This keeps that from happening. And this is one of the reasons why it's so high in protein. Cracking them in here in case I get a shell in there so it doesn't end up in the blender like I just did. So there's half of them. Yes, I'm putting 18 eggs in there. 18. Sorry, 16. I don't know why I said 18. It'll make 8 2-egg servings. more eggs. Total of 16 eggs. It's gonna make a nice big pan. Using low-fat ground beef. Ground beef is so healing for your gut. And it's so much easier for your body to absorb protein, more bioavailable. So that you're actually giving your tissues what it needs to regenerate and make healthy tissues. Okay. My refrigerator is really loud. Been working on my glutes, can you tell? Oh man. Okay. Sauteing my veggies. Well, you guys on YouTube can't really see what I'm doing, can you? There we go. Yeah, I'm just sauteing some vegetables and some ground beef. Should probably lower this a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay. Okay, so now it's gonna get loud. I'm blending my eggs in a blender. I don't like chunky cottage cheese. So this looks nice. I mean, if you do, that's cool. I don't. Okay. I'll turn this up so I can get it going a little better. Using some pink Himalayan salt. Got lots of minerals in it. I hear Celtic salt is better, according to some of the online people. But pink Himalayan still got quite a bit of minerals in it. I think it's like 67 or 68, but Celtic has like 87, I want to say, 80 something. I'm not really sure. I just know that I don't use the white stuff because it's bleached and bad for you. You want to make sure that you get your pink salt from Pakistan. They have these big ancient mines there that they pull the salt out of. And that way you know it's high quality and it doesn't have a lot of microplastics and yucky stuff like that in it, like a lot of sea salts do. These Pakistani mines that they pull the pink Himalayan salt out of is very ancient. There's no yucky chemicals or plastics or any of that kind of stuff in it. So where you get it is really important. shouldn't have cut this so big. That makes the paper stick. It's a nifty little trick I learned on TikTok. Right. Let's turn this up. Get this cooked. It's taking too long. The beauty of using extra lean ground beef, I'm not going to have to drain this. Nobody likes having that greasy layer of... I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe in tallow. I love tallow, but I don't have time to go through all that today. Plus, I don't want a lot of calories from the fat. I'm already getting enough fat from the cottage cheese and the egg yolks. So this meat doesn't have to be high fat. All right, just about done. Let's turn up the heat a little bit. I have a small kitchen. This goes back every time I use it. Okay. All right, 16 eggs in the pan. Oh yeah, the meat's sizzling now. This is just red bell peppers and some jalapeno. I love jalapenos. I used to not be able to handle the heat from those, but since I started my health journey, I've just loved them more and more. Okay. Dumping that in. Stir that around so it doesn't end up as a big clump of meat. Now for the final touch, microgreens. Love my sulforaphane. These actually, okay, you guys would probably be surprised. Rollins, my husband, actually made me an omelet with some of these in it for the first time, and I saw it before I took a bite, and I was like, ew, I don't know if I could eat that. But you guys, oh my gosh, it was delicious. These greens, they taste kind of weird in smoothies and stuff. They do kind of have a pungent flavor, but they're so nutrient dense that people just eat them anyway. And I loved it. It just gave this fresh taste to the omelet that I really can't explain. So now I put it in my egg bake. I just put it right in there. Saves me from having to add spinach and things spinach and kale and stuff like that. They're finding out has oxalates, which can cause kidney stones. They're pretty painful. Plus, these are so nutrient dense. You'd have to eat so much more broccoli than what you would get the sulforaphane, which is really like turns back the clock. Helps you anti-age. I love that. Yeah, I got some squeaky appliances. $3.50 for about 30-ish minutes. Okay, on to other things. Now for salad. I love English cucumbers. And I really don't mind the seeds, but I seed them because if I don't, the salad gets really watery and kind of nasty. So the first day it's fine, but the second or third day, you're definitely not going to want to eat it just because of the seeds. So I seed them. I don't waste them. I don't eat them because they're good. Cucumber seeds are really good for you too. Very hydrating. They help with cortisol too. If you're stressed out, you've got compounds in them to help you not be stressed. You know what? I don't want to smell it. I'm going to try to pay a little more attention today so I don't slice my thumb again. That wasn't a fun experience. Bleeding live on YouTube and Facebook. Oh my goodness. That would be fun. My husband keeps our knives extra sharp, which is good. Just means that I have to pay more attention and not be clumsy. Oh man. You ever known somebody that there'll be one glass of water on the table and they always find a way to knock it over? That's me. I'm that person. Oh, it's embarrassing, but it's true. Now that I'm older, it doesn't bother me as much. But man, as a teenager, so embarrassing. Yep, almost got my finger again. Should probably slow down. Or pretend I'm at work and have to touch my fingers properly. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that. My neighbor's got some work going on at her house. That's what that weird noise is, if you hear it. Hi, Kathy. Just trying to bore the crap out of you, cutting cucumbers. But, I mean, you got nothing better to do. Come on in my kitchen. Here we go. If I don't do this, you guys, I don't eat properly. So I have to do this every week. Sometimes a couple times a week, depending on how much time I have. If I don't have enough time, then I'll have to do this for 3 days and then come back and do it for another 3. See, if you tuck your thumb appropriately, slice it. Make sure this isn't the right one. Oh, yeah. I still gotta make a bunch of stuff. I gotta make chicken pizza crusts. That's just 3 ingredients, and they're super high in protein. And then I've gotta make my keto cheesecake, because I promised my husband I would make him something sweet, because he started being really careful about what he's eating too. So I want to support him as much as I can. And he really likes the salad I'm making right here. I kind of lost I spent years eating kale salad, which I'm grateful for, because it was tasty, and it helped me with keep my calories down and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of lost my taste for big green leafy salads. And now I use cucumbers as a base instead of the leafy greens. And then I just add like these, because their red bell peppers are supposed to be really good for longevity and maintaining beautiful skin, kind of like the microgreens. So I make sure I include those. Yeah. Just have not only that, but I love the way these vegetables are kind of crunchy and not like weak, I guess. I don't know. don't like it when vegetables lose their crunch and their wilty. Or this vegetable salad stays good for a few days. Back in the day when I was not eating a lot of vegetables, when I would cook with vegetables, I always avoided it because I wasn't good with a chef's knife, one. And two, it seemed to take way more time to chop vegetables. But now that I've been doing it for a long time, it's not as big of a deal. I guess if you're not good with a knife and you wanted to do something like this, you could always use they have lots of tools out now, but one's called a slap chop. I've seen it at Walmart. And it does all the chopping for you within just a few seconds. Food processors are going to do it, but it's not going to be as nice of a cut, I think. Me, I'm kind of picky on how it is, so I just hand slice everything. But I used to throw this away. I used to be like, throw it away. I don't do that anymore, especially with organic produce being as expensive as it is now. No. I make sure I use all of it. With exception for this guy right here. Okay. Okay. All right. Jalapenos. Cucumber seeds. Yum. Kind of tastes like watermelon rind. Okay. It's just the easiest way to get the seeds out without hurting your fingers, because fingers will burn for hours. That's why you see people on TikTok handling jalapenos with gloves. I never do that with gloves, but I do take out the white part and the seeds with a spoon. Otherwise, if I kind of manhandle it, I end up having fingers that burn for hours. Doesn't painful, but it's uncomfortable. If you like it spicy, leave this in. I like it spicy, not that spicy. Plus the dressing I'm going to make is a little spicy, so we don't want that much spice. Get rid of all these seeds. Stir it up. Add one more red bell pepper. It's not quite pretty enough yet. These bell peppers are small, but they're probably really organic. The bigger the produce is, the more I'm like, what's he all jacked up on? What kind of steroids they giving that plant? I wonder. So, you ever see blueberries the size of, I don't know, like strawberries the size of small apples? Yeah, makes you wonder, don't it? I really should have put a Band-Aid on this cut. Oh well. Right. Oh, that beautiful red bell pepper. I love bell pepper. I love it so much. I don't know what it is about this vegetable, but I love it. And red bell peppers are supposed to be really good at keeping you young and beautiful. Well, that's what they say anyway, so. And who don't want that? See? So pretty. I love it. Still baking. All right. Chicken pizza crust. Y'all have tried this yet? Oh my gosh. You need to. Especially if one of your goals this year is to gain a bunch of muscle. These crusts are nothing but chicken. It's a can of chicken, an egg, and a quarter cup of cheese. It's really high in protein. I want to say they have like 61 grams of protein per crust, which is about what you want to eat, is the whole thing. Because if you're not eating breads and pastas and rice and stuff like that, you want to fill up on really high quality protein. I wouldn't exactly call this really high quality, but I mean, it's high in protein. And to be honest with you, I just ain't got the time to be cooking all that chicken. I mean, at some point I will, but today I'm not. I'm using canned chicken. Just makes it really, really convenient and really, really easy. Drain that chicken. You know, I really don't think much about the mess when I'm doing this, except when I'm on live video. Then I'm like, oh, I'm making a big mess. Everyone can see it. Oh, well, who cares? It'll get clean. That's all that matters. Trying to decide if I want to do 4 or 6. I think I'm just going to do 4. Okay. Don't be afraid to get your hands in there and get them a little messy. Yeah, I'm not going to do 6. Eggs, 4 eggs. So each can of chicken has 45 grams of protein, y'all. 45. one more. Better count properly instead of trying to talk. All right. And I have some Dublinger, which is a real high quality Kerrygold cheese. My husband buys it with big block at Costco, and then we just grate it as we need it. And I just need a cup, not too much. It's a quarter of a cup per can of chicken, 1 egg per can of chicken. This makes it really easy to duplicate if you wanted to do it. Who grates cheese anymore? Crazy people like me, that's who. You remember when you were a kid and your mom would hand you like a block of cheese and the food cheese grater in a bowl and say, grate the cheese for dinner, and you just groan and be like, okay, fine. Well, at least in my family, there were 6 of us kids. And I was the oldest who guess who got to do it all the time? Me. My brothers were like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I was always underfoot in the kitchen with my mom cooking. Okay. 1 cup. Got a half here. There's a half. There's another half. 1 cup. First time I saw this recipe, I was really skeptical. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll keep using my cauliflower crust. But seriously, y'all, since I started using this chicken crust recipe, especially when I did carnivore diet and I lost all that weight and I felt really good, I haven't gone back to the cauliflower crust recipe, not once. And honestly, it's not that it's that much more work, the cauliflower crust recipe, and I actually enjoyed it. It's that I noticed that, I just like it better. Get this out of the way. Okay, here we go. Right. This might be easy in a food processor. I've never done it that way. I don't know. Maybe. I always seem to want to do things the hard way first. Just being honest. One of these days I'll learn to do things the easy way first. I want it to be kind of like, I don't know, meatloaf consistency, I guess. I just want to blend up the chicken shreds, the cheese shreds, and the egg together. The egg is going to hold it all together, and so will the cheese. But if you have really big clumps of chicken when you form your crust, they'll fall apart. So you want to kind of do what I'm about to do, which is stop trying to be cute and just get it done. That's right, I'm using my hands. Let's just do this. No gloves. I'm the only one that's going to be eating this. So, oh wow. Obviously, if this was for other people, I would wear a glove. But no one's going to be eating this but me. Let's just be real here. Okay. No big clumps. All right. Make sure it's mixed all the way. Oh yeah, this looks good. Now I'm gonna wash my hands and start making the crust. forever. Julie, Dave, hi. Hello. I'm just making a big mess in my kitchen. I'm glad you could join me for the mess. Well, I don't know if you guys have seen the air fryer liners. They're like big wax paper things. Kind of look like giant coffee filters, but they're not. They're wax paper. And they're brown. Those are really ideal for these. I'm out right now, so this is what I'm using. Parchment paper. And just getting my hands back in there. Let's just get them nice and dirty again. I'm going to divide this into fours. And I'll have 4 chicken pizza crusts. Okay. Plop it down there. Okay. This part is the fun part. It's like playing with dough when you were little, making an ashtray for mom and dad or whatever. Yeah, we actually did that when we were kids in school, make ashtrays for our parents. Am I dating myself? Possibly. Oh my goodness. I'm just patting it out into kind of a weird shaped circle, kind of shape. You can do it any shape you want. I've even made calzones out of this when I didn't have room in my oven to bake all these at once. Now I just freeze them like this and then bake them as I need them. But at the time, I was baking them all off at once. And I couldn't bake like 4 pizza rounds at a time. So I made calzones. They actually came out pretty good. Same concept. Yeah, I just top these with like, if I'm on carnivore, I'll top them with like cream cheese. And then some herbs, some pizza flavored herbs. And then meat and cheese. If I'm doing ketovore, which is what I'm doing right now, I'll probably do freshly diced tomato on here that I kind of strain all the liquid out, squeeze it out, put fresh diced tomato, herbs, and then I'll top it with my meat and cheese. Oh my gosh, it is delicious. Don't knock it until you try it. So here's my beautiful chicken crust. Yes, it's buckling, but isn't it pretty? And I'm just going to throw that in the freezer just like that. Well, not right this second, but I will. Pizza pan. There's one. Now we're going to start making another one. And I'll just plop it right on top of that one. And as soon as they freeze, I'll wrap them in foil all together. But I leave them on their papers, keep them separated. And then I just pull it out, pop my toppings on and bake it. I'm considering pre-topping them like you'd get like a frozen pizza at the grocery store, but this works. So I think the tricky part on this is making sure that you get like 1 can's worth of, I mean, if you're really watching your macros, you could like weigh out your portions and stuff, but I just eyeball it. I try not to make it too complicated. And I just play patty cake. Yep, that's what I do. There's another one. And I want to touch the box like this. Number 3. Here we go. We should probably check on the egg bag. Got this barbecue skewer that works great. It's done. pretty? It's all like green and beautiful. I love it. We're gonna let it cool over here. Turn the oven off. Okay, I could definitely tell that clump was bigger than the other clump. So I had to adjust. All right. Here we go. Number 3. I see I'm kind of curving my hand. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. I'm curving my hand as I push this stuff out. This is kind of like I don't know if you've ever made pie crust. Me being a baker, I've done that all the time. But you want to kind of give it that form as you push your fingers out. If having a round crust is all that important to you. Some people don't care. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal to me either. But I do kind of want to feel like I'm eating pizza. So, all right. Number 3. Done. All right. Last one. I do like to add herbs to the mix too to kind of give it a flavor, but I've learned that sometimes you want a different kind of flavor. Like I've even used these for like a Mexican style bake or whatever. So I noticed that if I have Italian seasonings in the chicken, I won't like it as much. So I just add my seasonings to the tacos. And canned chicken is already really salty, so be really careful if you decide to do this and add seasonings to it. Especially if you go online, there's a lot of people that will tell you to add Italian seasoning to this to try to hide some of the chicken flavor, which as long as it's really hot when you eat it, you won't really notice the chicken flavor that much. It's when it cools down that you really start to taste the chicken. It's more of you really don't taste the chicken that much. Especially if you are really savvy with the way you top it. Okay, almost done with number 4. Hopefully I don't have to rearrange my freezer to get these in there. All right, done. Oh, if only you could see the other side of my kitchen. I really don't want you to see it right now. It's pretty messy. Just saying. I'm going to have fun when this is over. All done. And then I'll just stick it in the freezer just like this. And then as soon as it freezes, I wrap this in foil and take one out at a time. Let's see if I can get it in there. Yeah, no, big Costco cauliflower bag. So we're just going to stick them in the fridge for now. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me rearrange my freezer. So, moving on. What was I supposed to make next? Oh yeah, cheesecake. Ugh. Okay, so here we go. Let's get this going. So, recipe is butter, almond flour, monk fruit, butter, almond flour. Grass-fed butter, of course. Okay. good that it's cold, because then it will make a nice little buttery crust. Rollins just bought this for me. Okay, I had to go get my recipe because I don't remember exact measurements. I've been developing recipes for the last, I don't know how many years now since I've been on keto, transferring all my knowledge from regular baking to keto baking. So I have all my recipes in here, and it's a very messy notebook. My son bought me a really nice cookbook journal to kind of journal all that stuff in. I just haven't transferred it all yet. It's actually a couple years ago for Christmas, if you need to know. It's been a while. All right, another knife. So, 1/2 cup butter and 2 cups almond flour, 1/4 cup monk fruit. I'm going to cut this into chunks so I don't end up having to work that hard. Well, I'm going to work hard, but not that hard. I really don't want to work that hard, just saying. So let's just cut it up into chunks. And this knife is sharp, so let's be really careful, Kelly. There we go. All right. For those of you who just came on, I sliced my thumb earlier. Well, not earlier, last night. It's been fun. I'm trying to be really careful with the knife. I don't slice myself again. Oh man, here we go. All right, 1/2 cup of butter, 2 cups of almond flour, y'all, this recipe is super delicious. If you ever get a chance to make it, pretty sure you'll love it. I love this stuff right here. Really, really good stuff. Has really good flavor. Doesn't have a weird aftertaste, but you want to make sure you don't over sugar something because it is very sweet. Okay. So just be careful. You notice for 2 cups, I'm only using 1/4 cup of this stuff. 2 cups of almond flour. This is just a plain shortbread recipe that I'm turning into a cheesecake crust. Normally, I would just for myself do just a plain old cheesecake without all the extra fuss, but I know hey, say hi to everybody on live camera. Hi, everybody on live camera. Because of him, I want him to be able to enjoy it too. Since he's really hitting his goals hard right now, I wanted to make sure he could eat some of it too, which he would still eat it if it was just cheesecake, just with no crust. But this helps him stay on track. Well, both of us, but especially my husband. So honestly, I think I have a bigger sweet tooth than he does, but he does like to have his nighttime treats. So as you can see, this is a lot of work. Ain't gonna lie. Shortbread, homemade shortbread, homemade pie crust. You want really cold butter. Even if this was like regular flour, you would still have to cut all of this cold butter in there. It's making like little chunks. And that's what's going to give that flavor pop that you get from a shortbread, like cookie. So that's why I'm doing all this. And honestly, I think as a culture, we've kind of gotten away from doing this kind of cooking every day. It's just too easy to grab a bag of pre-done stuff. And I think there's a lot of value now that we have in social media to see people like, I don't know, who's that girl, Keto Love or whatever, that she has like that channel where she just throws stuff in a bowl and she makes this amazing food. People like that showing us how to like start cooking healthy again and stop eating as much crap on the road. Hi, Tanya. I'm so glad you're here. I miss you, cuz. He's running. Oh, man. Anyway. Yeah, so now I don't know if you guys can see that crumbly texture that I have there. Yeah, there's big, some are a little bigger butter chunks, some are smaller. You want them kind of, I guess, uniformly pea-sized or smaller. Any smaller than that and it starts to clump up and become a dough. And if you're wanting a shortbread, like this would make a great lemon bar crust, or I have made like keto lemon bars and they will knock your freaking socks off. They're so delicious. But I want it like this. So now I'm just going to throw it in my pocket. And I'm just going to kind of like push it in here, just like if you were making a lemon bar, but up the sides too. This is really a good, there's some good friends of ours that got married recently, and we our little happy hour group did a wedding shower for them, not just for her, but for him too. One of our really good friends. And I made this recipe for them because I knew they were both trying to really watch their waistlines. They were trying to get married and be beautiful, for their big day. And oh my gosh, they looked really great. And she looked so good. She was so beautiful. But anyway, besides the point, he asked specifically for cheesecake for the dessert because I asked them, what do you want? And they loved this. They said it was so, so good. Even the people who weren't really worried about the calories and stuff really enjoyed it. So if you ever get a chance to make this one, you'll be glad you did. It's really good. Okay. Now once we got that, I'm going to turn the oven back on to 350. I turned it off after that egg bake came out. Yeah, so just like that. Just like that. Now I'm going to make the filling in the same bowl. I'm not going to worry about washing it. Just my hands. Okay. Now I need cream cheese and eggs. My husband's going to have lots to say about our kitchen disaster. Usually I'm cleaning as I'm going, but since I'm doing a live, it's not really working out that way. I use 2 eggs per block of cream cheese. So you can make this recipe bigger or smaller, depending on how big you want it. But for every block of cream cheese, I'm using 2 eggs. And for every block of cream cheese and 2 eggs, you want to use 1/3 of a cup of a sweetener. And I really, really like this one. And I think, yep, I'm just going to open this one. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me empty that bag. Oh, you know what? I have to use my KitchenAid. What am I thinking? This is cream cheese. up. I'm going to use the KitchenAid. Otherwise, you'll be watching me stir all evening. This is a really simple recipe. I've tried to, when I make these recipes, just keep them as simple as possible. A, crab's getting expensive at the grocery store, especially for really high quality stuff. And B, which I only eat high quality dairy, and otherwise I just won't eat it just because of the hormones and stuff. I just don't like messing with a lot of stuff. I'm going through a lot of different steps, so I'm just trying to keep things as simple as possible. So there's one. Another block of cream cheese. Okay, here we go. Do not add your eggs until you've got your sweetener and your cheese mixed together. Otherwise, you'll have a bunch of clumps and it'll be harder to mix. My KitchenAid just started doing this jumpy thing lately. I might have to get it serviced. Or just buy a new one. I'll move to. He was kind of hitting around me getting a new one for my birthday or something. Maybe. Get that cheese.